What is going on, you absolute legends? Another episode of 4x4 Camping and Adventures. No introduction needed. Bar work on the patrol. It looks absolutely primo, but there's a fair bit going on here, so I want to take you through the whole lot and explain pretty much what's going on. But before I get into the video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I want to see if talking about the subscribe and like button at the start of the video makes a big difference, so let's see what happens. But without further ado, let's get into it. All right. If you're new to the game, this is a Rhino 4x4 bar. They call it their 3D bar, but if you're old to the game and you've seen these bars before, they're on a couple of Y62s now, and I still reckon it is, and this is my own opinion, this isn't a dig at anyone else's cars or anything like that, this is the best looking bull bar I think you can get for a Y62. The reason I say that is purely the way they match the lines. It doesn't take away from the original look of the Y62, and I just reckon they look like a very, very modern, aggressive looking bull bar. So really happy how this turned out. But it's a bull bar, so look, you can't talk about them too much. It's made of steel. I went with the hoop instead of no hoop because I think it looks a little bit better. Plus you've got the option to add extra things on the front here. I'll probably end up adding a because I've got a Telstra booster in there, I might add the Telstra booster aerial in here, or eventually I may even relocate the two-way aerial down here as well. But I've got the option to do it. I may not, but I've got the option to do it in the long run. And also I've gone the black and the white theme. All right, we've got all the factory sensors. That's all mounted into the actual bull bar. Nothing there changes. They're all pretty much ready to rock and roll and work as it would have done at the factory, which is pretty cool. And as you can see here, I've got a bit of a winchy boy behind there, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. What else can I tell you about? Well, as I said, it's a steel bull bar, and you're probably thinking, damn, Braden, you haven't got much protection on there. So a bit of thought and planning went into the build of this car, and I actually spoke to a bloke who hit a roo with one of these bull bars on his car, and it only sort of dented this section here, so that went in a little bit where the roo hit, and obviously, you know, pretty much destroyed his grill because they're just made of plastic. And that was about it. So it didn't actually do too much damage to it, which is pretty damn awesome. And then when I actually got the bull bar installed and I was looking at all the proportions and that kind of thing, a roo would have to fit somehow through this gap here, which of course it can do, but it would have to fit somewhere through here. But the actual radiator is all the way back here. So you've actually got a fair bit of space and metal to push back for the actual roo to start damaging radiators and, you know, transmission coolers and all that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty happy with the protection on the front. Obviously you haven't got protection over the headlights, but in all honesty, if you're hitting a roo, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to either, you may need a new bull bar, just depending on what kind of bull bar it is, how big of a roo it is, and you're probably going to need new headlights, you're going to need a new bonnet. Stuff gets damaged pretty massively with roos. But I think the big thing is, if this stops the roo and I can keep on driving, which it looks like it does from the photos I saw of me mate's one, I'm happy. If I can get home, that's all I care about. The rest can be done by insurance. That's why you pay for insurance. But because I was actually looking at the price of these headlights, they're $1,200 each. They're quite expensive headlights, being LED. But yeah, the frontal protection seems to me enough for what I do. I don't do enough night driving to really justify having this big bulky looking bull bar in the front. I've never hit a roo in any of my cars, touch wood. But yeah, at least I've got some protection there. If I do hit a roo, yeah, we should be pretty safe. Now, the other piece of the puzzle at the front here, I've got the 22-inch light bar. So this is exactly the same as the light bar that I put on the roof, except it's just 22 inches. I've gone with two like dispersing beams, or I can't think what they're called now. They've got the flood beams in the middle, or the pencil beams in the middle. Maybe these are flood beams. I'm getting all my things mixed up. But you got the pencil beams in the middle, and let's just call them flood beams on the outside. So 2 on each side, and then 6 pencil beams in the middle. This LED light bar, just by itself, without turning the one on the roof on, is stupidly bright. I don't need spotties. With the headlights, because these headlights are actually probably good enough to drive most roads at night time anyway. If you put this thing on as well, you're laughing. You've got so much light. The glare isn't too bad because, as I said, it's mostly pencil beams. But yeah, no, it's definitely a very bright light bar. Fits in there perfectly. It's got a little snug place for it, and I'm really happy with how that's sort of all integrated with the bull bar. Now, getting to the winch, going a little bit further down, you do have a inbuilt number plate, well, let's say flipper, which allows you obviously to get access to your winch under here. Now it's a 12,000 pound winch. Again, it's linked up with the same brand as Rhino, so it's their winch. I haven't actually tried it out yet. It's brand spanking new, but I'm going to Harvey Dam in the next couple of weeks, and I probably can see myself using it because Harvey Dam looks pretty wet right at the moment. And I'm probably going to give it a bit of a go out in Harvey Dam in the next couple of weeks. So I'll, especially with these tyres on there, I'll probably need winching in a few little spots. But that is a really, really neat looking winch. And even on the, I can't think what these things though. On the front of here, the winch, I'll put the name of it up there where the actual winch goes through. It's got the Rhino branding on it, so it's all neat and all neat and tidy. All links up with the same branding and that kind of stuff. But I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Now, so let's go into here. 4mm bash plate made of aluminium. It goes to the radiator, so it pretty much covers all your radiator and that kind of stuff. It doesn't go to the diff or anything like that, where the oil pan is. So you do need the actual extra bash plate for that area, because it pretty much just covers the radiator and all that kind of stuff. So I suppose in essence it replaces the factory bash plates you get, so they pretty much go back to the radiator, and that was about it. So you probably want to invest on something covering that oil pan area, so just so you don't get a rock or something to hit it. But yeah, so you get that as part of the kit that goes with the bull bar, and I think it sort of finishes up the look, the front end. And you got a little section at the bottom here for your radar, so you can still use your radar cruise control. And as I said, the factory parking sensors all work perfectly. All your window washers or your headlight washers, all that integrated into the bar, and you've still got full access from your front camera as well. You do get a little bit of this showing in there, but it's not too bad. You don't really notice it, and that's about it. But yeah, that's pretty much the new front end of the Y62. Oh, sorry, you do get some LED fog lights as well, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much, they replace again the factory fog lights that you get from Nissan. So as I said, easily, my opinion, best looking bull bar you can get for a Y62. I absolutely love it. And since I saw Rhino's Y62 with this on, it's like a graphite grey, sort of darkish grey colour. Once I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's me done. That is me in a nutshell. The black and white theme that pretty much goes with the rest of the car. Looks really neat. These little sort of red touches look quite nice as well. I reckon it just looks really, really nice on the car. Now, let's talk about the sliders. Let's move back a bit. Enough about the bull bar. Let's talk about the sliders on the back or on the sides of the car. And I suppose talk about the reasons why I went with those as well. So, sliders. Why do you install sliders on your car? Well, I hate to say it, but Nissan did a great job of getting this car pretty much from factory to go anywhere. But after my trip to Harvey, I definitely noticed the factory sliders are pretty weak. So when I was in Harvey with Wayne, did a few tracks. Obviously this is the lowest point of the car, and they were grinding on everything. And they're plastic, so they're not going to last very long in the first place. But yeah, the sort of plan that I wanted to do is get something that's actually, got to be built to last, because this car is going to be my 10-year. I'm building this to last 10 years. But I wanted to make sure everything that's going to be on it, I'm not going to be replacing in 5 years' time and all that kind of thing. So I matched up these sliders with the bull bar, so I got it all done at the same place. But I'm really happy with how they came out. Actually, they're a nice thick tube. They've got a nice big chunky bit of metal under here, which is again heaps of protection from the seals. And underneath, the actual clamps and that kind of thing go underneath. They actually go up into the chassis, so they don't impede. They don't drop down, so there's nothing get really caught on them, which is really good to see. And you've still got enough space for the people who get in and out. They can put their foot on there and access the car in and out. They don't. Some sliders really point up, so these point up enough that you can still access your doors, but some of them really point up and they don't actually give you much, access to, put your foot on it to get in the car, especially on lifted cars. They become a bit of a problem. But these are quite nice. They come out about the same distance as the factory sliders, and obviously they come out further than the door, which means if I decide to put this, into the side of a, rut or whatever, this is going to be the first thing that hits it and potentially saves a panel getting caved in. So yeah, they're a metal slider, nice and thick. I'm not actually sure of the thickness of the tube, but they do have 2 high lift jack points on there. And I have been told, especially from the guys from Rhino, that they've had their sliders pretty much holding a Y62 up, which is about 3 tons on there, with no dramas. So they're pretty damn strong. So there should be plenty for what I'm going to do with it. And again, I'll give them a test in halving, that kind of stuff. Scrape them on some rocks and see what they're made of. But that's the new sliders. Again, just a simple black with a top on there, so I can the water can go through, but just so you got some grip on there as well. But yeah, that's the new sliders. Pretty cool. What do you reckon? I reckon they look pretty cool. It's pretty hard to talk about sliders. They're a bit of metal with a tube, and you step on them, they stop your seals getting bashed in. But I reckon they're pretty damn nice looking, and yeah, can't wait to scratch them up. So that's probably it about the newish mods on the car. But what I want to do is sort of give you a bit of an update on where the car's going, because now the car is getting to a point where majority of the stuff's done. There'll be sort of small things that I'll drip feed out and mainly put on Instagram, like I installed a solar panel and that kind of stuff, which I'll get into later. But like, small things like that, I'm not going to do a full-blown video on, because I don't think anyone needs to see me bolting a solar panel to my roof. It's not interesting content in my eyes anyway. So in the next sort of bits and bobs of the video, I'll probably do a bunch of mods and then drop them all at once, and then sort of have it all in one hit, and then that can sort of be like the final video of the patrol. But yeah, let's jump into the next phase of the patrol, about where it's going and what's going to happen. All right. Since this is going to be a little bit of a longer part of the video, I'm going to get a beer, most definitely. So, actually I've got one here. I'm going to go a hot hog. Hop hog beer. Pull out my bar. Perfect. Alright. Well, if you're still here, part of this video, I say cheers to you. And let me tell you about what's going to happen with the car. That is a very good pale ale. Alright. So, things that happen to the car in the near future. I installed a solar panel, just like 150 watt. It throws like 5 amps into the battery, which is plenty for me. 9 times out of 10, it's the battery that's running the fridge that's running the whole show. If I'm doing anything with the travel buddy, or if I have ever used it, 9 times out of 10 it's when I'm on the road anyway, so you don't need to really worry about that. So battery wise, 12 volt wise, solar panel just to keep it trickling charging while the car's not moving and that kind of stuff is pretty much, that's where that's going to end. So 12 mods pretty much done. So as I said in my 12 volt video, this is everything I need. I don't need any more than this. I got a fridge, I got something to cook with, and that's me camping in a nutshell. You'll probably see it in my cleanup video, which is coming up soon. I didn't even bring a gas burner to that. I just used the fire. Went all Harry Fisher and used the coals. But I cooked a beautiful burger on there. But if you're out in the bush, you can have a fire. Use the coals. Don't use gas. It's just simple. Less things you have to take. So 12 volt. That's pretty much going to stay the same. All this kind of stuff is here for the long haul, and it's not going to go anywhere. I have added cool things like this, which is this little paper towel holder and that kind of stuff. But as I said, just small things that'll upgrade it, and as I do more and more trips, you sort of get a bit of an idea of how to use your setup. Probably the next big mod, I'd say, is going to be the tyres. So I'm having a look at a few different tyre options at the moment, trying to work out, well, I had to look at sizing and what was going to fit with the bull bar on it now, because obviously the front's gone down a little bit, so I've lost a little bit of clearance in the front. But what's sort of going to fit, what's going to look good, what's going to perform, and I've got a few ideas about what I want to do. Unfortunately for me, because I did want to go the RTs again, they don't do the size that I want. So, and they do a bigger size, but they don't fit. So, yeah, I don't think I'll be able to go the RTs moving forward, but yeah, I'm going to have to find something a little bit different. So that's cool. I get to do some research on tyres, which is a hotly debated topic, I think, these days. Everyone likes talking about tyres, and as long as they pull you up that hill, who cares, right? But yeah, tyres is going to be probably the next big mod that's going to happen to the car. These tyres already got 15,000 Ks on them. The car's only 5 months old, but they got 15,000 Ks on them already. And yeah, they're going to wear out soon enough. I'll probably try to take them off at 30,000 Ks and sell them second hand or whatever. But yeah, I'll put some new tyres on there real soon, so keep an eye on that space. And I suppose the other thing after that is engine work. I sort of dabbled in the last video. I've got a few conversations going on with a few different people regarding the engine work and what I want to do and what I want to essentially. The 10-year tourer is going to go around Australia, so I want something that's going to be reliable and not be stupid, if that makes sense. So reliable and not stupid is probably the best way I can explain that without giving too much away. But there's a few options out there, and yeah, I'll sort of see how it goes. So Dave from Dash Off Road actually sent me one of his throttle controllers for this car, which I didn't actually know you can install them on these cars. I haven't installed it yet, but yeah, I might give that a go and just sort of see what that's like. But if Dave knows anything, and he knows a lot about these cars, it's probably pretty damn good. So if he's got it in his car, it's probably worth putting on my car, if you know what I mean, because he's a bit of a Y62 guru. So I'll see how that goes, and yeah, just sort of report back on it. I might even do a video on it if it's any good, and if it's not, I'll send it back to him, and it'll be happy days. But yeah, that was another thing that was going to be put onto it pretty soon, over the next sort of couple of weeks. And beyond that, as I said, it's probably going to be small stuff. I have thought about a few little different things to do with the interior. But as I said, in there it's pretty damn comfy, and I don't want to go too crazy of making it too unpleasant to live in. I might end up putting Apple CarPlay in there just so I've got the access to the Google Maps and that kind of stuff through the touchscreen. But you know, that's the small stuff that I'll add on the later in the track. I do want to get some floor mats as well, just to get some thicker sort of floor mats that grab the dirt and the sand and the mud. Because the carpet ones aren't going too well with the mud and the dirt and all that kind of stuff that we go through as four drivers. And beyond that, from now on, the car's just going to get used. So I've been using it a fair bit. I've had about 6 or 7 trips out of this car now. Done a big trip in it to Monkey Mire. As I said, we did a fair few thousand Ks in that trip. But yeah, now it's just using and abusing it, and actually putting all this stuff to test. So what I'm going to try and do is just film everything I can, and even if I film a bunch of trips and sort of merge them together as a bit of a off-road video, rather than sort of trying to do like a trip video with a story behind it, that kind of stuff. So some people I think out there just want to see forward driving, so I was just going to film the forward driving, no sort of background music or anything like that, just pure forward driving. So I was going to sort of dabble into that. And I suppose the other way my channel is going to go as well is the Respect the Bush campaign. That's going bigger and stronger. We just had our first meetup. We had a 9-meter skip full of rubbish. We did a really good job of cleaning out the Wellington Dam area. Everyone that went out there was fantastic, and real good bunch of guys. And yeah, the next one's going to be in Harvey Dam, so it's going to be bigger and better and more stuff. So hopefully COVID doesn't get away with this one. But yeah, that'll be a cool little video as well, and that'll be a cool transition for the channel to go into as well, because I think it's a pretty hot topic at the moment, this whole Respect the Bush and clean up after yourself and that kind of thing. I just want to really push hard on that and get a lot more people talking about it, which would be great to see. But beyond that, later on down the track, maybe next year, I'll probably lift it. But yeah, that's just all later on down the track stuff. I might put some UCAs in there as well, just so I can get a bit more clearance for my tyres. But that'll be about it. I was looking at some real nice billet ones that I saw the other day. I can't think of the company that makes them, but I saw some real nice billet ones that I might invest in, because they looked absolutely perfect. But no dramas so far. It's been fantastic. It's a bloody good car. I do notice a little bit more weight of it now, so hence the engine mods. And I mean, it's still a fast car. It's still stupidly quick compared to my Trident or anything I've driven in the past. It's still stupidly quick for how heavy this thing is. But yeah, it's probably just just to give you a little bit more breathing room, I'll probably say, is probably the best way of explaining it. And sort of bring it back to the factory sort of power level, which was I think these put out 400 horsepower for factory, so if I get like 500 horsepower at the engine, like an extra 100 horsepower, I think that's pretty good. So any more than that's just going to be a blessing, so I'll be pretty happy with that. But yeah, that's pretty much me, guys. If you've got any questions about the car or the build, just hit me up. But new bull bar, new sliders, new winch, and new light bar, all look fantastic. Obviously thanks to Rhino for when we put this order in, I think it was September last year, when I really originally organised the build and that kind of thing. So it's been a long time coming, but COVID sort of does that. And obviously I've got to thank Formula Tech for installing the gear as well. But what do you reckon, guys? Awesome bit of kit. Bloody looks awesome. I really think it suits the lines of the car, and it's easily the best looking bull bar on these cars, in my opinion, of course. But yeah, I might leave it there. That's been another episode of 4x4 Camping and Adventures. If you like this video, guys, please like and subscribe, like I said at the start of the video. And if I don't see you out there on tracks and trails, I might see you in the next video. If I don't see you in the next video, I shall catch you later. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. and have a good beer. Bye.